Today, 22nd January 2022, MLT first year. Subject is biochemistry. Topic is yesterday starts with centrifuge. So it's a continuation with care and maintenance. How to care in centrifuge and how to maintenance of the centrifuge. So first point, keep the centrifuge on a firm base. How to uh, keep so especially the centrifugation is a stable bench or keep in the bench, balance the tubes properly, otherwise tubes may be broken. So especially the centrifugation are a very hardiest instrument. This instrument is stability, especially in stable bench, on the stable bench. So why? Because this keeping in stable table. Why? Because it is a especially balance the tubes properly, especially the balance tubes properly, otherwise tubes may be broken. In case of you have keep the normal bench, the bench maybe it's not stable, the broken the glass or test tubes. Next point, increase or decrease speed gradually. Sometimes some samples decreases in speedness and increases in speedness, so that's why the bench will be it's not stable, so centrifugation tubes will be broken out. Next point, keep the lid closed during centrifugation. Compulsory after all test tubes places in the centrifugation tubes, you have completely closed to the lid. Why? Because two points are expressively. One is uh, you have take a smell, means number of microorganisms. Second one is you have to um, so you have to second one is broken number of organisms will be going outside in the air. Next point, do not open the lid until the rotor comes to stop. This is the very most important point. Do not open the lid until the rotor comes to a stop. Means రోటర్ సెంట్రిఫ్యూజ్ తిరిగేటప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు కూడాను మనం లిడ్ని ఓపెన్ చేయకూడదు. ఎప్పుడైతే లిడ్ని ఓపెన్ చేస్తామో కంపల్సరీ ద లిడ్లో దాంట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఎయిర్లో ఉన్నటువంటి టెస్ట్ ట్యూబ్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్యాథోజెనిక్ మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ దే ఆర్ స్ప్రెడింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద ఎయిర్. So that's why you don't open the lid. Next point, keep the chamber clean. So in a centrifugation place, every day you have must clean with formalin or a spirit. Next point, keep the plastic cover on the centrifuge when it is not in use. After completion of centrifugation, we have to do not in cover. Why? Because especially pathogenic microorganisms is attachment to the centrifuge. That microorganisms attachment to the cover. So every day don't cover, and only you have to cloth weekly once or 3 days, day by day, you washing that cloth. The graphite pieces should be replaced by new one if it is wears out. So how it is graphite pieces should not be used. Why? Because check the electrical connections at regular interval of time. Every regular time is not uses in this connection of the regular time. Lubricate the moving parts of regular intervals of time. So the care and maintenance, especially these 10 points are once again, one is keep the centrifuge on a fine base. Second point, balance the tubes properly, otherwise tubes may be broken. Third point, increase or decrease speed gradually. Increase or decrease speed gradually. At a time is not increases, at a time no, do not decreases. Gradually you have to increase or decrease. Fourth point, keep the lid closed during centrifugation. After centrifugation, you have to close the lid. Fifth point, do not open the lid until the rotor comes to stop. Without stop of centrifuge, don't open the lid. That's a must and should. Sixth point, keep the chamber clean. Every day, every time, you have to cleaning the you sit and stay in place of the chamber, and uh, you have to do the all laboratory test. That place you have to clean in every time. That must and should, and it's a care, fully care. Next point, keep the plastic cover on the centrifuge when it is not in use. Every day, don't overeat the plastic cover, especially you have to use for cloth. The graphite piece should be replaced by a new one if it is wears out. Check the electrical connections regular intervals of time. Lubricate the moving parts at regular intervals of time. Moving parts, every moving or 3 days or 1 week once again, lubricants are used for this all joints in the centrifugation parts. How to applications in centrifugation? One is useful in one first point, separation of insoluble solid from liquid. Why you have to use it for centrifugation? First point, you have to use for separation of insoluble solids from liquids. Second point, separation of immiscible liquids. In medical laboratory, some separation of serum from clotted blood, separation of plasma from cells, separation of urinary sediment for preparation for microscopic examination, separation of precipitate or supernatant as required. So, applications, what is the how to application of centrifugation? Separation, especially certification are used in biochemical laboratory. Separation of clotted serum from clotted blood. This is the most important thing in essential in biochemical laboratory. Why? Because the serum you have to collect the serum. All serum is a doing to all laboratory biochemical reactions, means biochemistry reactions. One is liver function test, and sugar test, and blood test, and um, something pancreas test, and thyroid function test. All tests are used to this separation from serum from clotted blood. Separation of urinary sediment for preparation of microscopic examination. Sometimes urine examination, complete urine examination, you have to do. Thus, you have to collect the urine sample. That sample, how to use in microscopic examination. So, what are they? You have to do that, especially the sample will be separation, means how to Separation of the sample means cells, especially you have to see in the cells, pus cells, RBC cells, and epithelial cells. So, how to see in these cells? Also, you have to centrifugation of the urine sample. So, the supernatant will be removing only the deposits and cells are seeing in the microscopical examination. That is known as complete urine examination. So, separation of precipitate or supernatant as required. Separation of precipitate after addition 10% barium chloride solution is a Fuchs test. Clear? Filtration second instruments in filtration using funnel. Funnel is a separated filtration can be done most simply using filter funnel and filter paper. Funnel you have to use in two types. One is some liquids, separation from liquids to liquids, from solids to liquids. These are two components you have to use for filtration. That's why filtration funnel for the purpose of uses you have to shift this close to the 60 degrees centigrade. Thank you all of you.